Hi, I'm Jared. Welcome back to Escape Addictions, Break the Chains. And I'm here with my buddy Parker, and today we're gonna talk kind of about our wreckage from the past, our relationships, what the damage that we did in our relationships, and kind of what those same relationships are looking like now. So first, I'll ask you, man, kind of what did the addiction itself, what are some of the first things you started noticing about your relationships with your family?
First things I started noticing was I really started lying about my use. I started lying to everybody. I started coming up with other reasons of why I was acting that way, other reasons of why I didn't want to do this or do that, and one thing led to another. I ended up started stealing from people. I ended up started flashing out on everybody who was accusing me of doing this or doing that, and it really started breaking down my relationships one by one, and one thing led to another, and I started to burn bridges. I started to lean away from those positive groups, positive family members, relationships, friendships, whatever it was, into negative friendships and relationships and people and everything like that.
Yeah, so it didn't happen overnight, but it progressed quickly and got out of hand. Kind of saying for me, I developed this problem with authority that spawned from having a problem with my parents from a very young age. About 7, 8 years old, I started developing that problem with authority, that you couldn't tell me or teach me anything. Anybody that surely tried to was just trying to throw some shade at me. I felt like I started rebelling from my parents, and in doing so, I had a problem with God. And any authority or anybody that tried to help me or tell me anything, and I torched all those bridges up in flames over the years. Every relationship that I had was severed, and any relationship that existed in my addiction was basically fake. I was using them or they were using me. It all revolved around the drugs, though, and the selfishness. And that extreme selfishness is what feeds our addiction, and we hate the fact that we're so selfish, but yet we just keep being more selfish, and it fuels the whole addiction. Healing ourselves is going to end up helping us to heal those relationships with our families. So I kind of want to talk about what those relationships are starting to look like today. For me, these things take time. That healing process is fully underway in my life in 10 years in recovery. But there's some people that still haven't come around, and I don't know that they ever will, and that's okay. We're not doing this for them. But those ones that matter, my relationships have slowly but surely healed, but they look different. So if people used to talk to me and treat me a certain way, I set boundaries. I don't allow that anymore. So my relationships are different today. But they're strong and they're healthy relationships, and they're filled with love and kindness and different things that I just didn't possess back in the day. And so we got to remember, though, when we're earning people's trust back from the wreckage that we caused, that's on their time. That's not on our time. That's for them to accept and make peace with before they accept and trust us again. And we have to be patient with that, because at the end of the day, we're the ones that burn those bridges.
Life for me, I'm 3 months clean. I hit my 90-day mark last week.
Awesome, buddy. Congratulations.
Thank you. And I'm starting to realize that from the time I started to now, I'm starting to realize my cousins I grew up with are graduating high school. My little niece is 10 years old, and everything's crazy.
To know, too, that what you were talking about and that being on their time and missing out on those important years, and we have to come to terms with that. Yeah, sure, we missed out on a lot of our loved ones' lives and achievements, and that's okay. It's done. That's in the past. Today has enough trouble of its own. What we're going to focus on is how to make up for that today. We're going to do our best to give our best effort and to show that love and appreciation to those family members today, and we stay focused on that, not on what has been done and what's in the past. And this is kind of like, and then let's talk about this real quick. How we do that is being open and honest with ourselves, with everybody around us, and anybody we come in contact with. That openness and honesty allows us to rid ourselves from that shame we're holding on to the past. It's like, no, I'm not proud of being an addict, and I'm not going to label myself as an addict for the rest of my life, but I'm free from that addiction, and I'm going to be open and honest with where I've been so that I can shed light on some of those people still lost in that darkness, all right? And I'm not focused. What am I doing today? I'm not doing those same things of the past, so I can let go of that stuff. I can remind myself, hey, look, let's bring it back to the present. Okay, you're doing all the right things today. You're trying your best. All right, so embracing that darkness of our past, I think that we had to go through that, and we have to embrace it in order to never go back there again. And we get a greater picture of this road called life, the whole road, and we can start seeing how it all was necessary steps in our journey. So I want to stress, though, that our addiction doesn't define us, but overcoming that addiction can sure be a part of our story and truth. We have hope for everybody. There's no such thing as a hopeless case. If that were the case, we were both considered that at one point in time. Just some of your most extreme junkies that you would meet out in your addiction, that was us too. And here we are today. And I didn't grow up saying I'm going to be the best addiction counselor that I can be. I don't remember saying that at all when I was a child, but that's the cards I was dealt. That's the road and the path that God had me on to be able to do this today. And I'm grateful, extremely grateful that He picked and chose all those things for me to go through that led me to what I'm doing today and what we're doing today. And you're right, we have to be men of action. Our words will be hollow if people don't see the action behind that. So we can say it and we can make these videos and we can say it until we're blue in the face, but until people see our behaviors and our actions being consistent and lining up with our words, that's where the healing and the trust starts getting earned back.